Biology. Okay, and it's called seed structure and germination. You have your textbooks with you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So, seed, we will basically learn the structure and its germination. Okay, so this is the base of your chapter for seed, and I think you must have gone through the structure of flower in the last classes.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so I will be beginning with this only seed, uh, how it is having its structure and how it is working on at the time of germination. Okay, so basically you must have seen that in flower you have some of the very important parts like ovaries, okay, gynecium. This term you have studied. Have you studied this? Gynecium? Okay, fine. Okay. Gynecium, wherever when we are talking about something about female part, then it is called gynecium. You must have heard about female doctors, gynecologist.
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So, gynec are related to females. We are talking about females. That's why this particular unit is called gynecium in flower. Okay. So, in when you were studying flower, you must have studied that flower turns into fruit.
Yes, miss.
Okay, then it is good for me. Okay, so here we will be studying how the fruit is protecting the seeds, because seeds are the most important part of the whole tree, because it gives rise to new generating new plants and its population, so that uh, the plants can continue their life cycle. Understood?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so basically fruit, once it is formed, it is nothing but the mature hello,
Yes, miss.
is it clear to you? Video is clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine.
Suddenly it is stopping and again starting.
Okay, it's a network issue, but it will be there. Let's see how it works. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, fine. So fruit is nothing but the mature ovary of flower. Okay. So when ovary matures, it enlarges. Enlarges means it becomes big in size. Okay. And it becomes pulpy, it becomes sweet in taste, it changes its odor, everything changes, it changes its color, then it becomes a fruit. Okay. And ovary wall turns into fruit wall. Okay. Basically, you must have seen the color of the flower and color of the fruits are almost same. A little bit shade differences are there, but whatever the color of flower is there, it will be having the same color fruit also. Okay, and but once it is ripening or maturing, ripening. Do you understand this word, ripening?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so whenever ripening takes place, many hormonal changes occurs in the plant. Okay, particularly in this portion. That's why the color of the fruit also changes from green to red, green to yellow, or something. It will be having a good bright color when it is turning into fruit, and its odor also changes. It becomes sweet in taste. Okay, you can smell them. Have you uh, seen the mango trees?
Yes, miss.
Okay, when the ripening of mango occurs on the trees, you can smell them in your courtyard. If you are having a tree in your courtyard, when the ripening occurs, you can smell them, and they become very pulpy and heavy. So they breaks down from the trees, and they usually fall on the ground and they just burst. Okay. Okay. So this fruit wall encloses seed, the basic of our chapter. Okay. So fruit is definitely is for eating, but it also protects seed, and it protects seed just for its dispersal. Have you heard about this word, dispersal?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Naturally, what happens whenever there is a seed dispersal, it occurs always naturally, because whenever the plant, basically what we do is, before ripening, we just take them out from the plant. But naturally, it ripens on the plant, then it falls down on the ground, and it finds a suitable area for its new arrival. Okay, so it helps in seed dispersal also. Okay, now there are many type of fruits also, but that we don't have to study, because seed dispersal, types of fruit will be there in your syllabus. In the, I think in the next class it will be there. So till here you have to understand that fruit is responsible for the dispersal of seed. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, so basically this part of the gynoecium is ovary, and it turns into fruit, and then comes is the main thing is, there are grain. Grain you have heard?
Yes, miss.
Okay, wheat, maize, barley, or many of that bajra, millets, all these are rice, all of them are coming in under the grain. So actually grain is nothing but a total fruit. It's a dry, it turns dry, and actually it's a complete fruit. But what happens in it is fruit wall and seed coat. Both of them are fused. Okay, you must have seen wheat. You cannot take out the wall of fruit. You cannot peel it. You cannot peel the seed coat easily. Okay, once it is basically because it is too dry, you cannot take out fruit wall and seed coat separately. They are completely fused and they form a protective layer seed. Okay, they form a protective layer for the seed. Understood? So examples are maize and wheat. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So now we will focus on basically seed. So seed is mature ovule. Okay, it's a mature ovule which is having embryo inside it. Okay, embryo is wherever this term is used, it helps in reproduction. Okay, that means it can produce new plant, it can produce new trees or any of the saplings. Okay, so mature ovule, ripened ovule, any of the word you can use. So this is gynoecium unit. It is having ovary and inside it is there is a ovule. Okay, when this ovule matures, it turns into seed. Okay, and some of the seeds you can break and see whatever inside is there, some you cannot. So we will study and or see whatever the difference is there, which you can open and can you see the embryo or not, how it can be studied. That is what we are going to study over in the structure of seed. So seed is protected by covering of seed is seed coat, is a covering of the fruit wall, is a covering of fruit, and seed coat is a covering of seed. Okay, when ovule has its own layer, that ovule layer is turning into seed coat and ovule turns into seed. Okay, now, this embryo seed coat are very strong. They protects the embryo basically from the mechanical damages. Okay, so that means if the fruit drops on the ground, uh, it will not cause any harm to the seed just because of seed coat. You get? Are you understanding this?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. Uh, just let me know if it turns sleepy. Okay, you're not getting bored, right?
No, miss.
No, miss.
Okay, fine. So now embryo is responsible for reproduction, or we can use the word regeneration of newer plants. Re matlab repetitive. Okay, re means repetitive, again and again it happens, it can produce again and again, it can generate again and again. That's why we are using the prefix re. Okay, so now this embryo, you must have seen that basically beans, peas, that you have seen. Okay, whenever seed, the one which you are opening, when you open, you can see a white or creamish color structure inside the seed. Have you seen it?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So that is the most important thing is embryo. Okay. So it doesn't mean that if you remove this, then also plant will germinate. It requires the whole seed for the germination. Okay. So embryo is protected inside the seed and seed is protected inside the seed coat. Okay. So first of all, these embryo have a very typical structure. We will pick up this only right now. So if you have embryo with you, you can see the seeds at your home too, and the one which is called groundnut. Okay, groundnut, in that you can see embryo very clearly. When you are opening them, you can see them very clearly. Inside it, you can see a creamish or whitish structure. Okay, so whatever, it is divided into 4 parts. Okay, this embryo is divided into 4 parts. So the topmost, okay, the topmost is called plumule. Okay, and the lowermost is called okay, and below the plumule comes epicotyle, okay, and below it is their hypocotyle. So this embryo is divided into 4 parts. Okay. Now, whenever the germination will take place, plumule is responsible for the shoot part of the plant. Shoot means whatever is above the ground is called shoot. And epicotyle, hypocotyle, radicle stays below the ground. Okay, so radicle is responsible for root. This stays below the ground. Okay, but responsible for the root is only radicle. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So now see, plumule is responsible for shoot, radicle is responsible for root, epi means upper or outer. Okay, that's why it is on upper side of the embryo, while hypo means lower or below. It is below the epicotyle, that is why it is named as hypo. Okay, and epi means outer. You must have heard about this layers also, epidermis. Okay, means outer. Okay, outside. That's a epicotyle, upper, hypo, lower. Okay, if it is hyper, then it is upside. Hypo, lower. Okay, is it clear to you, these
Yes.
prefixes?
Yes,
Okay,
miss.
you can remember this by hypertension, you must have heard.
Yes, miss.
Okay, hypertension means your tension increases. That means upside. That's a hyper. Okay, there is no other word like hypocotyle because tension never decreases. That's why. Okay, so hyper, means up, more, upper, or above, and hypo means lower. So do you understand this structure? Because we will be using these terms again and again when we will be studying the structure of seed and basically germination of seed. There it requires more. Okay, plumule, epicotyle, hypocotyle, and radicle. Okay, so another important part of the seeds are their cotyledons. Okay, cotyledons means these two. Okay. Or there may be a single cotyledon also, like it occurs in maize. That we will see monocots, dicots. When we will see, then we will see two cotyledons and sorry, P or B in something you can take. Okay, so cotyledons. Cotyledons means the one which is protecting embryo is called cotyledon. In maize also embryo is there. It is inside the seed, so it is protected. Okay, so cotyledons are nothing but they are called cotyledons are called seed leaves. That means in future, whenever these seeds will germinate, first leaves, whatever will be break out from the ground will be seed leaves. That is called cotyledons. The first leaves of the plant. That's why they are called seed leaves. Or basically we use in biology, that is cotyledon. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. These
Yes,
are the
miss.
four. Okay, good. Now, some of the seeds that we will see, and the most another important part of this seeds are endosperm. Okay, endosperm. In easy language, we can use the word food, starch, anything you can use. Okay, it consists of starch because uh, plant prepares the food in form of starch. That are called endosperm. It nourishes embryo. That means it helps in feeding embryo. It helps in giving food to embryo so that it is not eating everything simultaneously, but it provides nourishment. Apart from starch, it has so many other minerals too. Okay, which nourishes the embryo so that till then it germinates, it should be protected, it should be feeded so that it can germinate easily. So most important part of the particular seed is, first is embryos, cotyledons, and endo leaves, and endosperm is food. Okay, nourishment. Is this part is clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, just let me know if I am going fast or what. If you are not understanding my diction, just let me know because it's a first class. I don't know, am I clear to you all or not?
Yes, miss. You are going to the right school.
Okay, okay. The page, am I not going faster?
No, miss.
Okay, okay, fine. Now, the this much part once you have studied, if it is clear to you, let's see the classification. of seed. How seeds are classified? So there are many ways of classifying them based on their size, based on their shapes, based on their how they do germinate, process of germination. Okay, number of cotyledons. You can classify on the basis of different categories. So different categories, different types. But what we are studying over here is first is that is given in your book is size, small, large, and largest. Okay, so small seeds, large seeds, and largest. So microscopic, but they are very difficult to distinguish from the fruit, or they are very much difficult to get separated from the fruit. That's why they are classified into smaller one. You can have the example like poppy seeds. Do you know poppy in your local language?
Miss, in Bengali it is called posto.
Yes, very good. Just teach me that, okay? I'm not a Bengali, so I don't know the most. I have found out recently only. So poppy is nothing but posto. Have you seen those seeds? They are very small in size.
Yes, miss.
Okay, and once you are observing them, you can see that you cannot distinguish the seed coat. You cannot break them to see the embryo. Am I right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so they are very small. They cannot be distinguished easily from the pulp of the fruit. That's why they are categorized as the smallest. Okay, then comes the larger. They are the easier one, mango, plum. Basically, they are only one in number, most of the fruits, but they can be larger, like sapota or chiku. They have 3 to 4 in numbers. Then you can see that custard apple, they are also large in number. Okay, the size is classified as large, and the largest one is coconut, or in your book it is given double coconut. It is, you can see them whenever you are walking on the beach side, on the seaside, you can see all these double coconut and all that. So whenever you are on vacation on the seaside, you can see this. Okay, so they are the largest seeds, and that we will study. Basically in coconut you must, if you uh, have you had it ever, coconut?
Yes,
Yes,
Coconut,
miss.
coconut water you must have had it.
Yes, miss.
miss.
Okay,
Yes, miss.
so sometimes when it is very fresh, then you can see why after you complete your drinking portion, then you can see a thread like whitish structure inside, or sometimes it is in form of layer that you call the vendor we say malai hai.
Yes, miss.
That is a endosperm. Basically, whatever you are eating is nothing but endosperm. Understood this?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay. So, poppy seeds, let me show you one thing for this. Mm, See, I have one structure away. See, this is poppy flower. Can you see this?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, in this area, they will be having lots of seeds when it matures, and it's very small in size. That's why they cannot be distinguished easily. Understood?
Yes, miss.
Okay. And another one is this. See, small size of seeds. Can you see? Dragon fruit.
Yes, miss.
Can you see the size of, can you distinguish, can you separate them easily?
No, miss.
Okay. So that's why they are classified as a smaller one. Okay. Now another also is there. Let me show you. See, kiwi. Can you see the size of
Yes,
seed?
miss.
Okay, it's very small. Okay, so they all these are classified into smaller one. Okay, now rest of the the sea lychee, plums, they have larger in size. I don't have the picture of double coconut right now with me. You can have it from the internet also. There are many of the fruits here. So see peach. Can you see the size of seed? It is classified into larger one. Got it?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So this is the classification of seeds on the basis of size. Once you are coming to the further class, the terms for this will also change. It will not be small, large, or largest. The terms will change, but right now you have to understand small, large, and largest, not more than that. Okay. Now, next classification is based on endosperm. Okay, next classification is based on endosperm, because endosperm is a food of the seed. It plays a very important pivotal role. So okay, so first category is, I think you must juggle your pages when you have to see this. I think it is on the lower portion of your book.
Yes, miss, it is there.
Okay, because I am not going page wise, or I am finding the topics and arranging them according to what you have to understand. So you are just juggle your pages when I am teaching. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, fine. So one is called, that is endospermic or albuminous. Albuminous because albumin. Okay, this albumin is a major component in the understood. So albuminous seeds and non-endospermic, that is called X albuminous. Okay, so X albuminous, why it is X and why it is albuminous, that we will see. That means here endospermic seeds means the endosperm persist. Persist means it stays even after the germination, even after the new plant is formed. Okay, it persists, it stays, it doesn't finished over. It is not finished, it is not like vanished, it is not utilized completely. That is why these seeds are called endospermic or albuminous. It have thin cotyledon, okay, and that means seed coat are very membranous. You can see, I will take the example to make you understand for this, okay, and then you will get to know how they are called endospermic. So thin cotyledons, very membranous. Okay. So membranous, very you can remove the peel also. That's why they are called membranous thin cotyledon they are having. And endosperm persist even after germination. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. And here what happens that cotyledons becomes fleshy, okay, because they store food, and once the germination takes place, the whole endosperm is utilized, okay, whole endosperm is utilized by at the process of germination. That's why they are called non-endospermic, or they are called ex-albumina, because it utilizes. That's why X is used. Okay, X means use and throw. Got it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So it is, and when does it happen? Utilization happens at the time of germination. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. And when the seed is formed, you cannot distinguish these type of plants. You cannot distinguish them. That we will see how you cannot see. Okay, when we will study the structure. So these albuminous are also having two types of category. One is dicots, another one is monocots. Monocotyledon, dicotyledons. Okay, here also it is categorized as dicots and monocots. Okay, fine. Let me make you understand why I am writing monocot when monocot after the dicot. Do you know this? Do you know why I am writing monocots after dicots?
No, miss.
No. In your book, I think it is given monocot, uh, monocot prior to the dicots. Okay, am I right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, but whenever you are classifying or writing, you must know that monocots come after dicots, because monocots are the newest generation of the plant on the earth. Okay. Got it? Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay. Dicots are older. Monocots are the newest, youngest generation of the plants on the earth. That is why whenever you are classifying them, you have to write monocots after dicots, because they are younger generations. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So albuminous or endospermic seeds are classified as dicots and monocots, and for them examples are poppy seeds or custard apple. Many more examples are given in your textbook, or only two are there? I think only 2 examples must be given there, right?
Miss, some more are there.
Some more are there?
Yes, Miss. Only 2 examples.
Miss,
Okay. For dicots, I think only two must be there.
Miss, for dicots, Miss, they have given 3.
3. Poppy seeds,
Miss, gram and bean.
okay. That will come later on, beta. Gram and pea, I think they will come under non-endospermic. Am I right?
Miss, they have given poppy and custard apple.
Yeah. So poppy seeds, custard apple, and in monocots, example, see under the heading of endospermic or albuminous, they have dicots, monocots. Dicots, poppy seeds and custard apple, while monocots are cereals, okay, millets, or you are having palm, I think.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so palm must be there. So all of them are classified into endospermic. Their endosperm persist for the longer duration. Okay, cereals you must have seen. Wheat is having huge amount of food inside. Wheat seeds have you seen wheat seeds?
Yes, miss.
Whenever they are broken, you can see white layers inside it.
Yes, miss.
So it is huge amount of starch or food. Okay. Then comes non-endospermic and or X-albuminous. The dicots are examples are gram. Gram means chana. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Gram, pea, mango, mustard. Mustard, you know?
Yes, miss.
You must be using mustard oil at your home. Am I right?
yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So mustard or better use in local language sarson.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So gram is nothing but chana. Pea, what do you say in your language? Mutter.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So gram, pea, mango and mustard. While monocots are, these are bit difficult one. You must not have seen them. Vallisneria, okay, and orchids or amorphophallus. Okay, amorphophallus. Can you give me the local word for this?
No, miss.
Okay, orchids you have seen.
Yes, miss.
Orchid flower you must have seen where it is used hugely in while decoration in weddings or birthday parties. Orchids are kept.
Yes, miss.
Okay, and Vallisneria is you can if you have a lab in your school, you can have a look over there. Vallisneria, they must be having a good picture, or if your school is having specimens or something like that, so you can go and see over there in your school. But let me show you Amorphophallus. Just give me a minute. I will show you the picture. Then you will identify. It's not coming up. The picture is, just wait a minute. See, it is here. Can you see this?
Yes, miss.
This is Amorphophallus. Sural. Have you heard about this vegetable?
No,
It's
miss.
okay, fine, no problem. I know it's very ugly, but this is what the scientific name is, Amorphophallus. You can use yam also. It can be, if you go to the vegetable place, there it is named as yam. I think in your big bazaar place, it is placed over there. You can watch it in the vegetable section. Okay, and orchids, you have seen, they are very beautiful flower. I have one picture over here, yellow orchid. Can you see?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so these are the flowers. I don't have the picture of their seeds right now. I will try to arrange and manage, but it is not available right now with me. So these are endospermic, while these are non-endospermic. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay, fine. So till here, this you have to understand. Before referring to the detailed structure of seed, you must know this much of classification. This much is enough for you. Not more than that is required. And I think the another classification based on cotyledon is, okay, based on number of cotyledons are dicots and monocots. Okay. Dicots means two cotyledons are there, while monocots means single cotyledon. You cannot break down into two. You cannot separate them. That is why it is called monocotyledon. While dicots, you can separate them easily. You have groundnuts, pea, beans. Many of the seeds are classified under dicots. Okay. Example must be given in your textbook. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So till here, do understand the classification and read it very carefully from your book so that we can study the structure of seed in detail. There you should not have the problem, because there we will utilize all the words simultaneously: embryos, plumule, and ex-albuminous, non-albuminous, or endospermic. All these will be utilized simultaneously when you are studying the structure and germination. So till here just understand the classification, and till here understand the only the types of the seeds which are present in under this category. And the next is, I will just take a brief outline of germination right now, but detail we will learn in another class. Right now just see the normal outline of this. Okay, now germination is required for reproduction of plant. If seed will not germinate, new plant will never occur. Seed has to germinate to reproduce. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
And I think there must be rains in your city. Monsoon must be there.
Yes,
Is
miss.
it raining nowadays?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so nowadays what happens, this is the favorable condition for the germination of seed. Okay, so I can give you some experiments you can do at your home. Is that if you have mango seeds with you, fresh mango you have eaten, okay, and if you just go and dig it in your inside your garden or so in the ground, and one seed should be completely dry. Okay, it should be dried under the sunlight for 20 to 25 days. Okay, you can see the germination of both the seeds, fresh seeds and dried seeds. So why it is required? Because germination happens easily when the seed is dry. Okay, why the drying of the seed requires? It requires just because whenever the seed is dried, it undergoes metabolic changes. Many of the changes occurs inside the seed, and this is called period of resting. And okay, whenever seed is dried, that is the period of resting. You can say dormant period. Dormant period or dormant time. Okay, so the seed has to dried first. It should have proper period of resting. Okay, and it while the period of resting occurs, there are so many metabolic changes occurs inside the seed, and whenever this happens, the seed becomes mature. Okay, and seed matures to germinate. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so dormancy is required. For you, that sleeping at night requires to work for the whole day.
Yes, miss.
Same thing happens with the seeds also. They also require the period of resting. If they are properly rested, they are properly dried, or if they are provided a proper dormant period, then they will mature and then they will germinate easily and happily. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. And all this happens, some of the seeds can live for 100 to 200 years also, and they are protecting this embryo by providing nourishment from the cotyledons. Is it clear? The embryo is protected even for 100 years. It can be protected like for 100 years too. That means they eat too slowly. The eating process is very slow. They do not utilize the whole material simultaneously. So they have their changes very slow, and this is how they survive the dormancy or dormant period. And whenever there will be a favorable conditions, okay, whenever there will be the favorable condition, then they will germinate. And favorable condition means, like When there is a favorable time for you when you wake up, it should be morning first of all, then only you will wake up. It should have, your room should have proper lighting. Okay, your mama should be shouting at you or your dad should be shouting. That is called favorable condition for you. Am I right?
Yes, miss.
Yes. So for seeds, you don't require shouting, but the favorable condition, once it is obtained, that means proper amount of water, proper amount of oxygen, and proper amount of light. When all these things are very much adequate, they don't require more, they don't require less. Okay, if you provide them more, then also they will die. If you provide them less, then they will not germinate. Okay, it should be adequate, all these things, then only they will germinate. You must have seen at your home that whenever your mother is storing seeds, especially pulses, dal, and rice, wheat, in the boxes, airtight boxes, sometimes she use sunlight for drying them.
Yes, miss.
Why is it so? Sometimes you must have seen that that the storing jars, that it is having a moisture inside it, whatever you have stored,
Yes, miss.
because during dormancy period seed respires very slowly, but it respires. That's why it becomes moist inside. That's why you need to give them sunlight again and again so that they become dry. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Okay.
miss.
Okay. So till here, it's enough for today's class, I think. And if you have doubts till here, you can ask me.
No, miss, no doubt.
No doubt. So just go through the text, go through your textbooks and see that if you are having any of the doubt in the language or any of the term, you can ask me that. Just keep it in your notebooks, and we will see that in the next class. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay.
Okay,
And
miss.
okay. And the thing is. Regarding this, have you missed your last topics in your last classes? Any of the topics has been missed by you?
No, miss.
No, miss.
Everything
No,
is done.
miss.
Whatever chapters are completed, they are all done. You have not missed any of them, right?
No, miss.
Okay.
No,
And
miss.
this chapter this chapter is already done half, or we are beginning it as a new one?
Miss, we are beginning it now.
Yeah. Okay, fine. We are beginning. So nothing has been missed from this, right?
No, miss.
No,
Okay.
miss.
It's for all of you. If you any of you is having doubt, or any of you is having this problem, you can ask me. It's not if so one is saying yes, there is no need to say yes. Every is it good for everything? Everybody?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Is it okay? That means whatever I have taught, is it understood by you all?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay, fine. So till here, just go through your textbooks, and next time we will go for the structure of dicots, a dicot seed and monocot seed. That means I think maize structure and pea and bean structure is given in your textbook, right?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Okay, so we will see their germination and their structure in the next class. So till here, you just read, and if you are having any doubt, just keep it for the next class. We will solve it. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, miss.
Okay. So it's done for today. Have a good day.
Thank you, miss.
Okay, fine.